Sonic has never had a good story. I don't know if I entirely agree with this. I don't think I do. I don't think I entirely agree with this. I feel like Sonic has never had a great story. I feel like they've had good stories. I think Sonic Unleashed has a good story. I think Sonic Adventure 2 has a good story, but I don't think there's ever been a great Sonic story. We're back with the Sonic hot takes. This time we'll be focusing on Sonic story takes. Alright, this first one says, Sonic Generations had a better story than Sonic Forces, and Generations barely even had a story. I don't know. Like you said, Generations barely had a story. So I don't know like what we're comparing really. Sonic Generations had a really basic story, but there was nothing that was bad about it really. While Sonic Forces tried something and failed at it. So I think maybe, I guess I agree with this. Generations had a simple story. They wanted it to be simple and they hit the nail on the head with that one. And then Sonic Forces, they tried to do something a little more serious and they failed with that one. That's not even getting into the other things like the character interactions. The character interactions in Sonic Generations was good, and you already know how Forces was.
We need to fix the real world we all live in.
Alright, this one's worded weirdly, but this one's basically saying that Sonic Lost World easily has the most corny storyline other than the ending and the finale. And I have to agree with this. I do not think that story was good at all. Even the ending and finale are arguably corny as well. Sonic Adventure 2's writing is overrated. What? I guess you're not saying it's bad, or I guess this isn't suggesting that isn't the best, but I don't know if it's overrated. I don't know if people overrate it. I don't know if people actually give Sonic Adventure 2's writing more credit than it deserves. I've never seen it, so I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with this, because I don't really think people overrate Sonic Adventure 2's writing. Now, if we're talking gameplay, where that's a different. Sonic Rush has the best story ever. I disagree with this. I think Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Unleashed have the best stories in Sonic. And even though I'll probably take Sonic Adventure 1's maybe over it. I like Sonic Rush's story though. It has a pretty decent story. Sonic Color's story isn't really that bad. In fact, it was refreshing for its time. That's an interesting take. I never heard this before. Anytime I ever hear anything about Sonic Color's story, it's always bashing it or putting it down. So this is an interesting take. What do y'all think about this? Personally, I'm not really that much of a fan of Sonic Color's story. Alright, this next one says, Secret Rings had a good ending and a good message. It could have used some better writing, but I think they did the ending justice. I definitely do agree with this. The writing could have been a little bit better, but that ending is iconic. That ending is iconic. That's one of the best endings to a Sonic game right there, in my opinion. Had a really good message too. Really good message. Really hope Sonic writing kind of goes back to that, where the endings are super prominent and not like, because I feel like, I'm not going to spoil any endings, but like I feel like some of the endings of some of the Sonic games are samey. Like look at Sonic Unleashed. There's other games in the series that kind of end like that. So I hope that they have different endings for different games, and they start like, I guess, adding some diversity to like how these stories end. Alright, this one says, Black Knight had the best characterization of Sonic to date and nailed the perfect balance of silliness and wise/coolness of his personality. Same can be said about the other characters. I do agree with this. Black Knight, bro. Just look at the beginning. Watch the beginning cutscene. Alright, this one says, Free Rider's top 5 worst stories in the series. It's literally just a story of Sonic Heroes, but with the writer's branding slapped on it. Almost even down to the motives in the game. I haven't played Free Rider, so I can't speak on this, but what do y'all think in the comments? Is this one of the worst stories in Sonic right here? Alright, this one says, Sonic Frontier's story isn't good in my opinion. It feels all over the place and the references feel forced into the dialogue. I don't agree with this. I think Sonic Frontiers has the ideal Sonic story. I would like to see Sonic stories like that. I do kind of agree with the references thing. Some of the references felt forced, but at the same time, I kind of looked at it as like a little bonus. If you were to know, if you know the series, then you'll get the reference. I feel like it was a little bonus. They can kind of tone down on the references in the next game and kind of make them a little bit more subtle than cool. But I never really thought the references were that much of an issue. But I kind of agree with this, but I mostly don't. Hey, if you want to see some more hot takes, here's the last Sonic hot takes video right here. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.